Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today I'll be doing some waterfalls and we'll be using a lot of earth colors. We'll be using some greens, browns, muted yellow and muted green and also gray. So the colors that I'll be mentioning will be listed in the description box below. I'm using a 12 by 16 inch canvas board. You can definitely use any material that you want for yourselves. You can use a different shape of material for yourselves as well. It's really up to you. But if you want to learn or for learning purposes, you may wish to have the same canvas size as mine or the same material as mine. All right, so I'll be preparing the colors now. I really haven't prepared them, but I really want to like start from scratch today. So I'm gonna show you how I prepare my colors. So I have here some Oxide Black, okay, and then I have here yellow ochre, okay, yeah, and then I'm gonna get my olive green. As you can see here, a lot of my colors, if not all, are muted and I love it. I love muted colors. I'll be using some bright green as well for highlighting purposes. So I'm going to place it right here. Okay. And of course, we cannot do away with my titanium white because I haven't painted anything that has no titanium white in it. If you have, let me know. But me personally, because I'm doing realistic paintings or my style is realism, so I cannot really do away with white. And I'll be getting some primary blue for the waters. Okay, I don't have a lot of blue. Okay, let me just turn off my microphone now because of the ambulance. Okay, so I just let, you can still hear it probably, but I just let the ambulance pass because it's very noisy, you know. Still on. You know, sometimes I'm wondering if this ambulance and police, if they know that I'm painting, because they're very noisy every time I'm painting. I know it's not their fault. They're just doing their job, but you know, I can't help myself but think that way. I'm taking it personally already. All right. So I've already prepared the colors. You cannot really see them. I'm gonna have to move my canvas board a little bit. Okay, just for you to be able to see them. All right, so we have here Oxide Black, yellow ochre, Oxide Green, titanium white, burnt sienna, bright green, and pale blue or primary blue. So I'm gonna sketch first where things are gonna go. I'm gonna get just the usual brush. It doesn't really matter what brush you use at this stage because we're just gonna sketch anyway. So it doesn't really matter what brush you use. Even, I mean, you can even use your pen or pencil. You can use that just for sketching. So I'm gonna use my burnt sienna just to show you how things are gonna go. So the waterfalls will be right here on the side. It won't be in the middle because I'm just so tired of looking at very similar paintings with the waterfalls right in the middle. Let's make it more dramatic by placing it on the side. Let me just move my lamp. Okay. All right. Okay, so this will be a rocky area. Okay. This is where the waterfalls would go. A little opening in there. Okay. and everything will be rocks. Okay, and this part will be a lot of rocks as well. On the foreground, there will be some flowing waters. It will make sense later, but just for you to have an idea, I know it doesn't make sense at the moment, but sketches are not supposed to make sense immediately. Okay, so the waters will be down here. Okay, but the waterfalls, the main waterfalls will be here. Okay, I hope I'm making sense. All right, so I'm gonna sketch, I'm gonna underpaint everything. Now I'm gonna use a bigger brush just for me to be able to apply some paints quite quickly. So I'm gonna get my black and I'm gonna underpaint this part black. And as you can see here right beside me, I have here my palette knife simply because we'll be using some texturing. You can wet your brush or your canvas so that you can apply the paint very smoothly. Okay, I'll be painting over the sketch lines that I already did. I mean, that I just did. Sketches are only for the outline, they are not supposed to be there. When you finish your painting, they are not supposed to be there, really, at least not that obvious. And I'm going to color this side as well. Okay. I'm gonna mix my black with my brown and I'm gonna color the rocks that you see here with some dark brown. Okay, like that. And then using my yellow ochre, I'm not really washing my brush. Um, I'm gonna mix it with black and brown, and I'm gonna use that to underpaint this part of the waters. And I'm gonna do, or I'm doing, what I'm doing here is some horizontal brush strokes. I don't wanna change. Don't use vertical brush strokes. Okay, I might mute the microphone again because I can hear the ambulance. Okay, so I turned on the microphone again. All right. Now I'm gonna dab onto my blue and I'm gonna mix it with my oxide green. Okay, I'm gonna get my black just to tone down the colors and I'm gonna use that to color this part of the waters. Make it like turquoise. Okay, I'm trying to blend a little. I'm gonna dab onto my black and I'm gonna apply quite randomly on the water part some black spots in there to suggest some depth. Right. Okay, now using black, I'm gonna go around the rocky part. Okay, like that. Okay. Then I'm gonna get my green. I'm not really washing my brush. I'm gonna mix it with yellow ochre, okay, and black. And I'm gonna color this area with some muted green colors. This will be the forest or the trees um, behind the waterfalls. Okay, we'll be doing the detailing later. Don't worry. We're just blocking the colors. Okay, we're just blocking the colors. We're gonna do it stage by stage. Okay, I'm gonna change my brush now because I'll be using a different color. So I'll be using some brownish grayish color. I'll be getting my burnt sienna and my black and my white. And maybe more black. All right. Then I'll be adding more brown. It's like, and then I'm gonna color this part of the waters. Make it a little bit diagonal as you do this color blocking. I'm sorry about the canvas board that just keeps moving. Um, okay. I'm applying a little more black right here on the right side. I'm applying some black colors right here to suggest some rocks that are under the waters or that are submerged, but they can still be uh, they can still be seen. Uh, like there's no doubt there are still rocks, or to suggest some shallow waters. Okay, I'm just gonna color this area a little bit darker. Okay, like that. All right, so we actually color block almost everything except this one. And for that one, I'm gonna get my gray color. So I'm gonna dab onto my white and mix it with black. And some blue colors. So it's like bluish grayish color. And just color this part. And make it more of a vertical brush stroke simply because this is where the waterfalls start. We will make some adjustment later, but let's just do this step. I'm going to apply a little bit of bluish grayish color down here to suggest some movement right here and to suggest the point where the water falls. Okay, where the water falls, like literally where it lands, or yeah, where it lands. Okay, just like that. And then I'm gonna use the same color, okay, just to make some suggestion. of moving waters right here. Just use the same color and do a little bit of dry brushing technique. Okay, and this will be suggestive of where the water is going. All right, just like that. All right, I'm gonna dab onto my white and apply some white right here. I mean, eventually we're gonna do this detailing right here, but we wanna really um, do it step by step and layer by layer, like that. Okay, now I wanna do the rocks before we do the waters. Okay, for the rocks, I'll be using I'll be using a little bit of gray color. So just mix your black and white. And then I'm gonna create some markings. Don't think too much when you do this. I'm just like playing around. I'm just applying some markings here and there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get my brown and black. I'm gonna use that to create more markings. So I'm gonna darken this part. As I told you, I'll be using some palette knife, but we just wanna start it with brushes before we proceed to doing some palette knife. Then using black, I will create some more depth right here. Using some brown and yellow ochre and white. I will create some details on the rocks. As you can see here, I'm just like playing. I want it to be like relaxed. That I'm gonna get my white. I'm gonna start to create some lights or light effects on the rocks. This is not a rock right there. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get my black and apply some indentations on the rocks. Just like that. Okay, like this. I'm using some black. Let's create some details. Right here. Okay, it's already, I actually like it already, and we're not even 50% done, but I like it. Maybe because I feel more relaxed today. Like, I don't know why, but yeah, I'm gonna get my black plus yellow ochre, brown plus yellow ochre. Let's create more rocks right here. Okay, I love it. Okay, like that. Then using black, let's create some more depth. Okay, where the water is flowing, and then some white. Now using the white color that we have, let's create some markings. Okay, it's very noisy again outside. Create some markings on the rocks. Creating some highlights. Okay. All right, nice. I like it already. We're in the abstract stage. Now, I'm gonna get a very like fluffy. I'm gonna get my palette knife already because I really want to create some texture on the rocks. Okay, so I'm gonna dab onto my white and black to create some gray markings. Gonna add brown and I'm gonna start creating some markings. So just use the back of your palette knife to create this. Okay. I will be using alternately black and my gray to create some more depth and indentations. Okay. So just alternately using my grays and my blacks. Now don't worry if some colors are mixing, like your green, it's fine. It's very natural looking actually if you have that. My canvas is really moving. Okay, now using some greens, okay, greens, olive green and white. And I'm just gonna use the tip of my brush. I'm gonna make some suggestion of um, tiny plants growing on the rocks. So just dab using the tip of the brush. Okay. I'm gonna add some yellow ochre to that to add some yellowish brownish colors. Again, I really don't like it when it's perfectly green because in real life there's no such thing. Gonna add browns. Okay, I'm gonna use some yellow ochre and greens and white, okay, on the rocks that you see here. Let's add some what do you call that, molds, or yeah, am I calling it correctly, like molds on the rocks? When you step on them, the rocks are slippery because of this. I hope I'm calling them like correctly, like the proper name. Oh, molds? Not sure. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my yellow ochre plus white and some light, okay, and then some greens. Okay. Okay, like that. Okay, now using some ordinary brush, I'm just gonna get my ordinary brush. I'm gonna get my black. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm gonna get my white to create some gray color. And then some browns. And some underwater rocks. So it's just a combination of black and brown. And like that. Then yellow, ochre, and brown. Maybe black as well. And some green. Okay, now I'm gonna use a smaller brush again. Okay. I'm gonna dab onto my white. But I'm gonna remove the excess water. So I'm gonna use a rag to remove it. We're gonna do a little bit of dry brushing, especially right here. This keeps moving. And then I'm gonna make some suggestion of moving waters. I really like shallow waters because they have a lot of movement compared to a lake, which is deep. There's not so much movement in there. Okay. Okay, you don't want to paint over this part. There must be a suggestion of underwater rocks. Okay, so just glaze it in effect. And to really, really separate it from the water. Oops. I'm gonna use my black to somehow create some line, just like that, and then darkening this part. Okay, just like that. Okay. And then using some gray colors. Okay, like that. And then I'm gonna get again my white. Gonna highlight this rock right here. And also this rock. All right. Uh, and I'm gonna wash my brush out. We're still gonna do a little bit of highlighting on the water part this time. So I'm gonna get my pure white and I'm just gonna do some waterfalls effect right here. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of movement. So there's like a little bit of waters right there. Let's highlight the rocks because we need to highlight them. Okay, and then okay, I'm gonna get my pure black because we don't wanna forget the unevenness, okay, of the rocks. So we're going to create some indentations by using black. Okay, and then using black, I'm just going to slightly outline the shape of the rock so that they are separated from the waters visually, okay? Visually separating them. Okay, then using some gray again, let's add a little bit of rock right here. You know, these rocks will suggest how shallow the waters are. Okay, I'm gonna mix my green and blue and then white to get that light yellow, I'm sorry, light turquoise color. And just lightly touch on this area. And then I'm gonna get my pure blue. Okay, we still want that pure blue going on to suggest reflections of the sky. We're not doing the sky, okay, but there should be a suggestion of sky reflections simply because, you know, a picture is a continuing image. Okay? You cannot really see the sides, you cannot really see the above portion of the picture, but still, there should be reality to this picture. Okay. And then using black, okay, let's create some more depth. Sorry, my canvas is really moving. Um, this, the surface I'm painting on is not really flat. That's why. Another rock right there. And then some more water movement. I'm using pure white this time. I feel like there are fireworks going on outside. I just feel like I think I heard something. Let's do some movement. Done. And I'm gonna make some more highlights. Okay, I'm gonna mix my white, okay, with some blue and brown. Okay, some more blue. And then some black. And I'm gonna apply this color. Okay, I'm gonna add brown to that. I'm gonna apply this color on the rocks because I feel like the rocks need a little bit of this color as well. And then I'm gonna apply that on the waters. Then using some black, let's add some depth. Okay. And then some light browns and yellow ochre. Let's create some details. Mhm. And using black, let's create some markings. You know, basically this is just mark making. And that is what I love about nature, you know. Can never go wrong with your brush strokes. Okay. Let's target. Let's make this dark. I'm gonna mix my oxide green with black. I'm gonna create some dark foliage. I'm correct. There are some fireworks going on. Okay, like that. I'm gonna use like I call it foliage brush. I'm gonna use my brush to create some foliage on that area. I'm gonna get my bright green, okay, sap green or olive green and white, and maybe yellow ochre. Okay, just combine those three. I don't know how many colors are those, but I'm just gonna combine all of them, and I'm just gonna use the round brush to create some foliage. Now, if you don't have this, and actually you don't have to have this, you can use some Q-tips so that you create the same technique, or you use that technique to create the same effect. Doesn't have to be this. Besides, I bought this from Korea, and I don't know if we have it here in the United States. I've checked, okay, on Amazon, and I haven't seen this type of brush. Only in Korea, yes. And I had this when it was 2017 when I had this, so it's very a long time ago. I don't even know if they still have this. Okay, I'm gonna get my yellow ochre plus white just to do a little bit of highlighting. All right, like that. Okay, let me just see it from the viewpoint of the camera. Okay, we need to add more detailing. Okay, using some white, I'm gonna highlight this. And also this, the bottom part of the waters. And here, oops, sorry. So I'm just dry brushing here to create some misty effect, okay, as well. There you go. I think I need more black. So I'm just gonna get my black because we need more depth actually. So using black, I'm gonna create some more depth, especially on the rocks. And I will do a little bit of glazing so that I darken some areas on the rocks. And for the waterfalls, I'm gonna darken some areas on the waterfalls because while it's true that the water is more like appearing white or translucent, there's still some depth, okay, behind the waterfalls. So we don't want to use pure white in there. Okay. And then using some grays. Just make it more uneven. Okay, like that. And then I will make some corrections right here. Okay. And then using black, let's create some details on this rock. And then I'll be using my fan brush to do a little bit of water effect. So I'm gonna wet my brush and then I'm gonna dab onto my white, and I'm gonna use extra water for this, just for the purpose of creating some water effects, okay, on this part. So make it easier for me. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my blue plus black. Okay, blue plus black. And then water. Make sure that it's flowy enough so that you can glide on your canvases very freely. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of that color on the waters, because waters, again, while they are white or translucent, um, the light, will change the way they appear, or their appearance. It will change. And then using some black. And using some white. All right, I like it. I'm gonna use pure white this time. So using pure white, okay, just layer, and also right here. Great. Add some more movement. Okay, like that. And then I'm gonna get my yellow. I forgot that we'll be using lemon yellow because I was focusing more on the muted colors. That's why I chose yellow ochre. But now I think I need to do some lemon yellow for highlights. So I'm gonna use my foliage brush, as I call it. And then I'm gonna dab onto my lemon yellow mixed with white. And I'm just gonna start creating, yeah, like that, brighter highlights. You can actually improvise. To have something like this, you can use some old brushes, the bristles, and then just put them together in a circle, or just tie them together and create this foliage brush. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my green oxide. Sorry, yeah, green oxide and black and blue. Okay, so we need a little bit of blue color plus white. Okay, more blue, and this is because of the light. Okay, okay, like that. Okay, and now let's create some vines. I was supposed to say, I was about to say twines. Gonna get my burnt sienna. That's black. Oops, it's too thick, I guess. So I'm gonna add white so that it can be seen. Here. Let's add some brown colors. Then white for highlights. We're adding a little bit of blue colors on some highlights, on highlighted areas. And this is to be consistent with the blue waters, okay? Actually, turquoise waters. like that. Okay, now I'm gonna use my palette knife to create some details on the rocks. I really like this one. Absolutely. So I'm gonna use my black and I'm gonna use the back of my palette knife to stab onto your black. And I really want to create some markings on the rocks just to make it look more natural. And even here, the more uneven the markings are, the more they look natural to me. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna use the same effect on the waters, but I'm applying it in a horizontal manner. Some turquoise, okay, colors. And I'm gonna add some browns as well right here. All right, like that. All right. Let me check. Okay, I love this one. Don't you love this one? I love it. just thinking that maybe this area is a little bit wide. There you go. And then some more highlights. Okay, just a little more detailing. Okay, and again, add more depth. Then just outline the rocks, just to separate it from the waters. Like that. And of course, we continue doing some movement. Okay, it's nice. And I'm just gonna brighten this part just like that to give it highlights. Here, like that. Okay, some highlights. Okay, let me check. Okay, I love this one. However, I feel like there should be more detailing here. And I'm adding a little bit of brownie colors. Just to make it look a little more natural. And some highlights on the rocks. And then I'm gonna darken, okay, some areas right here, you see, by just glazing over them. Okay. Again, you don't want to darken each and every part, but some areas will appear darker for depth. Okay, like that. Yeah, I really like this one. Absolutely love this one. It's very impressionistic, but at the same time, it's also like natural. More yellow ochre right here. I love it. I love it. I mean, I can go on forever, really. For the final touch, I'm just gonna dry brush a bit. Some more brightness. This one. I really like this one. Okay. And then of course we want to highlight those vines that are sticking out. So we will use some light browns. I'm gonna darken this part of the rock to give it dimension. Okay. I love it. Oh my gosh. Don't forget those tiny separation lines. Okay, so that we still know uh, the flow of water. Like that. And I think I have to sign this now. It's done. So I'm going to use my white and I'm going to sign right here. And I think we're finished. Yay! So I hope you enjoy that one. And I hope you paint along with me. If you like this video, let me know in the comment section below. If you're painting along with me, let me know in the comment section below. And see you in my next one. Have a great week, guys. Bye! Mm, love you.